Hey everybody, it's Joe from Britical Saiyans here, and today I'm going through the Android 21 deck profile. So, as always, start with we have our leader card. So, its on place is when it's placed in your leader area, you choose up to one Android 21 scheme from your deck and activate it. So, this thing, and then actually I'm going to bring it in a little closer. There we are. And its active main is once per turn. If you choose a clone token in your opponent's battle area and remove it from the game, draw one, then choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards, energy cost of 1, and return to your hand. Then it's at the start of your opponent's next main phase, you choose up to one of your blue-green multicolour energy cards and switch to active mode. So it just means during your opponent's turn you're always going to get an energy card. And then when you're on 4 less life, she draws you 2 cards and awakens it onto this side. And the active main is exactly the same. You just remove a token, bounce one of their 1-drops, draw a card, and get an energy at start, a multicolour energy back at the start of your opponent's turn. So, not very in-depth, but the nice thing is that you can activate this skill, Awaken, and then activate it again during the same turn. So for one of your turns you can always get 2 energy back instead of just the 1, which is quite useful because obviously if you're going to be tapping yourself out, you'll have more options. So getting into the main deck now, I'll jump straight into showing you 21 scheme before anything else. So 21 scheme is a field. It's got 3 autos. The first being once per turn, when you or your opponent play a non-token battle card, it can't attack for the duration of a turn. So the first battle card you play has Summoning Sickness, as it's called in Night Magic and other card games. So when you play a black battle card, you immediately place it in the owner's drop area. So just don't play black battle cards. There's no need. And then at the start of your opponent's main phase, you play 2 clone tokens with 10k power in your opponent's battle area. I have made a little clone token. Looks like this. They don't have any combo power, so all it is a 10k attack for your opponent. But now you've got the cards in place that stop them from attacking, so they're just a 10k space waster. So, and yeah, mine are dittos. So, next we'll go with the users before I carry on doing the extra cards. And our users for the deck is just 4 copies of Super Android 13 Never Ending Bloodlust. So, it's got a cost of 2 and 14k power, because awkward number. And it's got the active main of if you don't have a using card in play and you choose one of your opponent's clone tokens removed from the game, you play this card from your hand in rest mode and it has a marker on it. So you can either play 2 to put it in active with 2 markers, or you can just get rid of the clone token, play it out, it'll be in rest mode, but that's okay because you've got a free unison out. And then it's got +2 active main. One of your mono blue leaders gain 5k power for the turn, and then you choose one of your, well, then your opponent's clone tokens can't attack next turn. So regardless if they have clone tokens or not, just +2. You give the leader 5k and you get 2 markers on this guy. Even if your leader swung, just do it. Just gain the 2 markers. Always gain markers. And it does have -4 active battle. It gains 11k and double strike for the turn. So it does mean once you've got like 4 on there, or 5 or whatever, you can just play swing, active battle, make it 25k double striker. So
help the end game.
Yeah, just help push for end game. And because it's not affected by 21 scheme, you can just attack with it the moment you play it out. So it's very helpful. So going into the extra cards now, we have 1 copy of Absolute Release Ball. So it's counterplay if your leader's blue and your life's at 4 or less. If the battle card being played has an energy cost of 3 or less, return to your hand instead of being played. Then you choose up to one of your blue energy and switch it to active mode. So it just becomes free to play if you've tapped one. Or you have the alternative of if you have a multicolour energy and your life's at 4 or less, you can play this card from your hand by taking a life instead of paying the cost. So if you're tapped out and you've got multicolour, you can be like, well, I'll play that, take the life, get an energy back, and stop them from coming into play. We've got 2 copies of Dimension Magic. So a green staple that's always been blue staple. I don't know why I said green. A blue staple that's been in decks ever since set 5 because you negate an attack, you get 2 up to 2 blue energy back to active, and sparking 5 you play it from your life instead of paying the 1 energy. Next we've got Restoration. So this is a nice little card that they added back in one of the extra sets. So it's counter attack, you negate the attack, then if your lead is a blue Android 21 card, so potential for another card 21, and you have a, so yeah, then if your lead is blue 21 and you have blue/green multicolored cards in your energy, choose up to 1 Android 16 with an energy cost of 2 or less in your hand and play it. So in this deck you could play that out, but ideally you play out this guy, because then you get the on-play skill. So I let him run the one of it because I wanted to run another kind of negate, and here's a case of you are going to use this if you have the 16 in hand, preferably. If not, it's just a case of you need to negate, so chuck it. But I always try to time it so that I have this 2-drop 16 in my hand when I play it, so it's like, okay, play, then play the battle card. So just to get the most out of it. Of course we have 3 copies of Sensu Bean, because Sensu Bean. So battle, choose one of your cards, gains 5k, get 2 energy back. Job done. Sensu Bean. So this is my own personal tech. I have a singular copy of Speedy Surprise Attack. So it's a green counter attack. You negate the attack, then if your lead card is an Android card, so 21 obviously being an Android and not specified by colour, you can place a card from your hand and drop. If you do so, choose up to 1 of your opponent's battle cards, cost 3 or less, and KO it. So it's just a nice little way to pop something that your opponent has, and hence the fact I run that instead of a second Restoration, because it just gives me a nice little bit of field wipe. And then our final extra card is a 3 cost Infinite Energy. So it has energy exhaust because it's multicoloured, and then active main, you draw 1, choose one of your multicoloured battle cards and place it into the energy invest mode. You can't play battle cards with 30k and 35k power for the game, which is fine, there's nothing in here that comes onto that bracket. And then at the start of your opponent's next main phase you get a multicoloured energy back. So it's a nice way to take something off your board that you don't need, place it in the energy to ramp, you draw a card, and then at the start of your opponent's turn you go and get an energy back. So on top of your leader skill you'll gain 2. If you've done like I said, where you activate it, awaken and activate the leader again, you can get 3 energy back at the start of your opponent's turn, which is pretty nuts. So moving on now to battle cards, and to start we've got our 1-drops. So we have 3 copies of Android 16 for his mother, because apparently this is based on his mommy. That side obviously, not this side. If his mum was pink demon thing, then Jiro's batting above his own league. So he's got 4k unique, permanent, it can't be used in a combo from the battle area, and your opponent's clone tokens can't attack. So again, stopping the clone tokens from being a threat. Auto once per turn, when a clone token is played by a skill on one of your extra cards, you place 2 additional clone tokens in your opponent's area, so they're always going to get 4, because this places 2 and then that places 2. And then active main, you can remove a clone token from your opponent's area from the game to play this from hand or drop. So instead of paying 1, you could just get rid of the token, play it out. You could combo it from your hand, then play it from drop. So it's got a lot of function, which is quite nice. And obviously stopping the clone tokens from attacking is really useful. And if you want to play something else to attack with, you could use that effect, play him out, and then place an attacker, because he would have the summoning sickness. And then next we've got 3 copies of Android 18 Speedy Substitute. Is it Substitute? be Substitution. Okay, that's close. So again, it's 1.4k. It's got 2 autos. The first being, when you play this card, look up 5 cards from the top of your deck, choose 1 blue or green android card from among them, add it to your hand and shuffle the deck. So it's just an android searcher. And then at the end of the turn, when you play this card, activate the skill. At the end of your turn, you may choose a blue-green multicolored card in your energy, return it to your hand. If you do, you choose 1 card in your hand and place it in your energy in rest mode. So it allows you to just swap cards out your energy. So say you want to put, you've put the, try and find an example here. So you might put that in your energy, just to get rid of the energy exhaust skill and to give yourself an energy for the turn. And then you know you're going to untap it. You're going to untap one at the start of your opponent's turn, so you might be like, okay, I'll bounce this back so I have a charge for the next turn, and I'll put this in so that it's an active energy and it's already there, so I don't have to worry about losing an energy at the start of my next turn. So it just gives you utility to swap things out if you need them for your next turn. Also that you have energy so you're not crippled by the energy exhaust. So, but a lot of time you can just go without using that second part of the skill. It just depends on your situation. And then finally for the 1-drops, we have 2 copies of Android 21, the Ringleader. Again, it's got 4k. Auto is, if your lead card is an Android card, when you play this card, you draw a card, then at the end of your opponent's turn, you play a clone token in your opponent's battle area. So, at the start of your turn, they will basically get a token. And then it's active main once per turn. You can play a blue and a green. If the leader is an Android card, you can choose a 21 scheme in your drop area and activate it. So, I run this as a 2-of just as recovery for this, should something happen to it. You can play without it. I just like to be on the cautious side because with how many decks rely on fields these days, I know field popping is going to be more prominent as the game progresses. So I like to have a nice little countermeasure should that happen. Next we've got our 2-drops. And to start with, as mentioned before, we have 3 copies of Android 16 Energy Absorption. So we've just got 5k, the energy exhaust scale, and then auto, if you have a blue-green multicolored card in your energy, when you play this card from your hand, place the top card of your deck in energy in rest mode, and you can't play battle cards with 35 and 30k power for the game. So it's just a ramp, and then you could use a card put in the energy itself. You can combo it off, you can get rid of summoning sickness, and if you play it out with restoration, you can ramp during your opponent's turn. So just helpful for any blue-green decks really. And then next we've got 4 copies of Android 17 Protector of Wildlife. So 2-drop 15k. It's got energy exhaust permanent. If you have a blue-green multicolored card in your energy, you negate its energy exhaust skill. So this is like the original one that came out to do that, and I still run because it's just more androids in there for later effects. And its auto is once per turn. When your opponent combos, choose one of those cards and place it at the bottom of the opponent's deck, then negate the skill for the duration of the game. So it's just a combo remover. You can only do 1 per game, but it's you can only do its effect once per game on the copy you haven't played. So if you do that one, his auto goes off, you can then place another one to do it again, and so on. But it's just kind of like an inbuilt combo killer for the deck. The last 2-drops are our super combos, which are 2 copies of 18 Bionic Blitz and 2 copies of Vegeta Disciplined Warrior. Vegeta is just there because you're blue for less combo, place, gain 10k, place 1 to the bottom, draw 2. Simple as, just generically good. And the 18, as you can see, it's mod card, so it has energy exhaust. And it's, if your leader is blue or green, when you come with this card from your hand, your opponent chooses a card from their hand and places it at the bottom of the deck. So it's just a nice way to remove a card from their hand. And there is a card that I like to combo with, which I'll show you in just a sec. Well, when I get to it, I should say. Next we have our 3 drops of the deck. So we've got 2 copies of 21 Brilliant Idea and 2 copies of Vegeta the Cruel. So 21 is when you play this card, activate the skill. At the end of your opponent's next turn, you play 2 clone tokens in their battle area. And then activating once per turn, you can choose a clone token from your opponent's battle area, remove it from the game, and then you can either choose one of your opponent's battle cards and KO it, or you can choose one of your leader or battle cards and give it 10k and crit for the turn. So it's just there as either board removal or a power buff for a battle card. And then Vegeta the Cruel is counterplay, you play him out. If you have multicolored energy in your energy area, reduce the cost by 1. And then when you play this card during your opponent's turn, choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards, energy cost 4 less, KO it. Then your opponent chooses 1 card in their hand and sends it to the warp. So Vegeta just kills something and makes them lose a card, which is pretty cruel, hence the name. Next, got some 4 drops. So we have 2 copies of 18, Let the Battle Begin. And I'll use in 2s because there's not many of them. And then 2 copies of Maleficent Technique Freezer. So Freezer, you just choose 2 clone tokens in your opponent's battle area, remove them, play them out, and then when you play this card, choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards with an energy cost 3 or less and return it to the hand. So it's just a free play bounce, and then you just have a 15k beat stick. Hence I like to have Freezer above all the others, because it's just a free card that can bounce stuff and then just be a beat stick. And then 18. This one's quite new, it came in the extra booster. So she's got blocker, counterplay, you play this card, then if the battle card being played and the energy cost of 4 or less, it's placed at the bottom of the owner's deck instead of being played. And her permanent is, if your leader is a android or heroine card and you have used in card and play with a specified cost of 2, which we do because Android 13 has a cost of 2, so they did think about it, which is nice. And well, specified cost of 2 or more. Okay, and if it's your opponent's turn, you reduce the cost of this card in your hand by 3, so it just becomes a 1 cost counterplay to bounce up to the bottom of the deck, and then you have a 15k blocker. So can't argue with that. Final 4 drops, we've got 2 copies of Super 17 Seconds to Detonation and 2 copies of Supreme Technique Son Goku. They are both multicoloured, they both have 20k, they both have the energy exhaust, obviously. So 17 is revive blue-green, so when he's pop, like goes from the battle area because of battle effect, you can ditch a blue and a green card or blue and green card to play him back out. And his auto is once per turn, when one of your opponent's battle cards is KO'd, you draw 1 and your opponent discards a card. Well, they choose a card in the hand, place it in drop area. That's actually important to establish because of all the discard counters that are coming out now. And then Supreme Technique Goku has a blocker, a rival, blue-green by playing a blue. And then his auto is you choose 2 cards from your opponent's, choose 2 clone tokens from your opponent's battle area, remove from the game. When you play this card, your opponent chooses 1 card from their hand and place it in their drop area. So this is a card I like to combo with 18, because what you do is you combo the 18, her effect goes off, your opponent chooses a card from the hand and place it at the bottom deck. You then pay the 1 to a rival Goku in. Goku removes 2 clone tokens, and then your opponent has to place a card from the hand in drop area. So you can remove 2 cards from your opponent's hand by paying 1 energy for his arrival. And then you have a 20k blocker and you've got a 10k combo going for whatever you're doing. So it's just a nice little thing I like to do, because I can just rip 2 cards straight from the hand. So we're now on to the main part of the deck, which is our 5 drops. To start with, we've got 2 copies of the brand new Android 17 key channeler. So he's got 14k, energy exhaust and barrier. His permanent is if you lead as a blue Android card and you have 5 or more life, negate this card's energy exhaust in all areas. So that's why I run him at 2, he's just there as like a starting card. And he's got 2 active mains. The first being, if you play 1 blue, if lead as a blue Android card, you may place this card in its owner's drop area from your energy. If you do, play this card from your drop area. So tap himself, place and drop, play himself out. And then active main, place 1 card from your energy in the owner's drop area. Choose up to one of your opponent's using cards and remove a marker from it. So if you're at this point where you've got enough energy to spare, you can just be like, well, I'll remove a marker from unison and then I just have a 14k beat stick. But it's also good in the fact that you can, if you're struggling for like some pressure units, you could just go, well, I'll tap, pop, play, swing. So because it says pay 1 blue, you can choose himself. Doesn't specify, tap another card in your energy area, which is nice. Next, we've got 3 copies of Android 21 Bad Omen. So it's got 25k power, and exhaust. Active main, you pay 2 blue and 2 green to place from your energy area. And it also is choose 1 card from your energy and place it in your energy drop area. When you play this card, choose up to 1 of your opponent's battle cards and up to 1 card in your opponent's life and place them in your energy drop area. So obviously as part of the cost you tap herself, play her out, burn an energy to burn your opponent and pop a card. But primarily you're just going to burn them. So hence the fact I run 3, because it's like you only need to get 1 or 2 in there depending on how much life your opponent has. You'll just bang and do that. Next we got 4 copies of what I think is the most useful card in this deck, Super 17 Hell's Ultimate Weapon. So it's 25k power, permanent. If you lead the blue Android 21 card, you gain energy exhaust. And an active main, you play 2 blue, 2 green, 3 other energy. You play this card from your energy, and then you play up to 3 Android cards with an energy cost of 5 or less from your energy area. So the reason why I think he's most useful is that you basically play anything that you've charged. So your main goal is to like charge a couple of them, a bunch of like all of her, and then some other bits if you need to. But like I said, the main thing about this, which is really good, is you tap the 7, you go, right, well, I'll play this and I'll play 3 other cards. So you might decide to just play 3 Bad Omen, burn 3 energy, burn your opponent for 3 damage, and kill them. And if not, you just play a board. So you could decide that you're just going to play all 4 copies of him, just have 4 25k beat sticks. You could play the 16 to put another card back in the energy. Like, there's so much potential, but it's so good, and it's why I think it's the most useful card for the deck, is that it just plays anything in your energy area, and you're playing a ramp deck, so that's what you want to be doing. And final card of the deck, because I have it, we've got our singular copy of SS4 Vegeta, Peak of Primitive Power. So 8 drop, 40k power, it's a secret rare, so it's got ultimate. Arrival blue green by tapping 3 blue and 2 green. And his auto is when you play this card, you choose one of the following. So if it's your turn, he gains double strike, critical and triple attack for the turn. If it's your opponent's turn, choose one of your opponent's battle cards, ignoring barrier, place it in the unit's drop area, then add 2 cards from the top of your deck into your energy. So during your opponent's turn, it can ramp you. During your turn, it can basically kill them, because triple attacking with a double crit at 40k is very hard to deal with. So, and yeah, I run because I have it. If you don't have it, I'd probably just bump up Bad Omen to 4, or maybe just play a tech card. Entirely up to you. But he's very nice, so let's play him. But there we are, guys. That is my 21 deck profile. So thank you very much for watching. Leave your thoughts in the comments below. As always, I'll see you next time. Bye.